Hello, welcome to Levant TV Headlines. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad says he would be open to a dialogue with the United States, but that it must be based on mutual respect. At least 39 civilians have been killed in more than 24 hours of Saudi-led airstrikes against Shiite rebels in Yemen, according to health ministry officials. Saudi Arabia says it has gradually resumed flights at its southern airports 1 day after suspending all traffic as it launched airstrikes against Houthi fighters in the country. The Turkish parliament has passed a stripped-down version of its controversial Homeland Security Bill, giving authorities new powers to crack down on protests. In Iran, British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond will join the nuclear talks in Switzerland this weekend as Iranian President Hassan Rouhani made an extraordinary appeal to world leaders. And now let's have a look at top newspaper headlines in the Middle East. Starting from Beirut, the Daily Sali is reporting that the Lebanese army has arrested 2 men in the northeastern town of Arsal, suspected of involvement in the deadly 5-day clashes last year, during which more than 30 soldiers and policemen were abducted. The paper also reports that authorities seized 3 carloads of smuggled cigarettes from a depot in the eastern city of Baalbek. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that warplanes from Saudi Arabia and Arab allies struck Houthi rebels fighting to oust Yemen's President Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi as Iran denounced the surprise assault on its protege. The paper also reports that at least 4,000 free meals will be distributed to workers across Dubai from April the 15th to December the 31st daily as part of a charity event. The Egypt Independent leads reporting that Arab leaders meeting this weekend in this Egyptian Red Sea resort are moving closer than ever to creating a joint Arab military force, a sign of a new determination among Saudi Arabia, Egypt and their allies to intervene aggressively in regional hotspots. The paper also reports that Turkey's parliament has overwhelmingly passed a security law to broaden police powers and allow the use of firearms against demonstrators. And now papers here in London. The Guardian leads Middle East news section reporting that lawyers fear an Egyptian prisoner will be executed in the coming days for crimes they say he could not have committed because they took place months after he has disappeared into a secret military black site. Hani Amer has been sentenced to death along with 8 others by a military court for taking part in attacks on a police van and an army checkpoint on March the 20th and for being a leader of Ansar Bayt al-Maqdis. The Independent leads its Middle East news section reporting that United Nations has said that more civilians were killed in Palestine last year than any time since 1967. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said 2014 had been a devastating year for the occupied territories, blaming Israel's illegal occupation of the area. The Telegraph leads saying that Iran's President Hassan Rouhani wrote to US President Barack Obama, as well as to the leaders of the 5 other powers heading efforts to resolve the 12-year standoff over Iran's nuclear program. The content of the letters was not known, but Rouhani, whose 2013 election led to the current diplomatic push, also phoned the leaders of Russia, China, Britain and France. And now Middle East papers, Middle East headlines in international papers. China's Global Times reports that UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has called on all parties and member states to refrain from any actions that undermine the unity, sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity of Yemen, and noted that despite escalation, negotiations remain the only option for ultimately resolving the Yemeni crisis. And finally, the New York Times reports that the United States and Syrian governments are engaged in direct talks concerning the whereabouts of Austin Tice, an American freelance journalist and photographer who disappeared in Syria more than 2.5 years ago in the midst of the country's widening civil war. For more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Thanks for watching and bye.